LearnBiz LLC is an entrepreneur coaching agency which customizes solutions to help businesses grow and thrive in an ever-changing economy.
You are listening to LearnBiz, the podcast, where we share an entrepreneur's journey and allow you to obtain insight into their path to success. We're here to educate other entrepreneurs about the ins and outs of running a small business, and we will provide you with tips and resources that can help you along your entrepreneurial journey.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. David Wright. I am so glad to have you today on our episode of LearnBiz, the podcast. So, Mr. David, can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Wow, that's an interesting question. I was listening to Morgan Freeman earlier today, and he kind of mentioned somebody called him a legend, and he said, yes, he's a legend in his mind. But I tend to call myself just a humble servant. I love helping people. I love just being a part of moving things, making things happen. And but serving is ultimately who I am, a humble servant.
Absolutely love that. And so, if you could tell us a little bit about the business that you're in right now, what types of business do you do right now?
Well, the name of the business is Right Now Resources, and we are insurance services and referral services. So I'm an insurance agent. I'm actually working with several firms. I'm able to broker deals with a multitude of different companies that are out there. But what I really enjoy about that industry is like what I said earlier, the service, the helping people, educating my clients on the importance of protecting themselves and accumulating things that's going to carry them on down the road.
And I can imagine, being in the service industry, you deal with some interesting situations and circumstances. Can you tell us a little bit about your day to day? Like, what does the work look like for you?
Well, the day to day now with technology has really improved, I think, in our industry. There's much more paperwork now that's being able to be done online. But the majority of my business is doing a little research, making phone calls, contacting potential clients, and then servicing those existing clients as well, establishing meetings, and then finding out about people. People are so interesting, and our backgrounds are so varied and different that it's important that you really build relationships and get to know people. And that's the type of person I am. I'm a get to know you type of person. I just love people.
And definitely, you have the personality to really get along and really engage with people. I love it. Why did you get into this business? Like, what about it brought you there?
Wow, that's an interesting story as well. My family, my mom was a social worker, and I grew up watching her do her thing with children and welfare and schools. And I vowed never to do that. I saw the reward down the road, but she really put in a lot of time. And in my opinion, the pay wasn't that well. And, our parents kind of raised us to do better than them monetarily. And so I just figured early on that, that wasn't it for me. I wanted to go into business, and I wanted to go into radio and TV production. But down the road, I found out that was a very strong gene of mine. And after doing all the other things that I aspired to do, I was led back to the service industry. And I truly love it. It's a passion.
So you couldn't avoid it. It was in the blood.
I could not avoid it. You're absolutely right.
So how did the pandemic impact your business? Because now we were at home, we're not able to be out and about and do the things that we would normally do to engage with people. So how did you function during the pandemic?
The initial shock, I'm sure, will have havoc on everybody. We didn't know what we were going to do, how we were going to pivot, which way were we going to go. And fortunately, our organizations had already started to digitize a lot of our business. So much had become online applications, or what we call e-apps, where we could receive applications from clients. So we weren't locked into that face-to-face business, even though a few of us still tried. We had to take this thing seriously. Offices were being closed. So, especially in my industry, we were being forced to work from home. And that really made it kind of lucrative in a sense. You didn't waste a lot of time on the road. So you spent time there, and preferably we were able to hopefully reach more clients. Now, the problem there was, they were having their own individual struggles as well. So what I was able to do is just to continue to pursue those, offer suggestions and solutions, show examples of how others were coping under the pandemic. And by me being a resource of information, I think it helped continue to make that building relationship with individuals even stronger. So that was one area that helped me a lot in just being who I am and reaching out and sharing resources. And then that kind of makes me reliable, that people want to come back now and find out more about what I do. And that's when we're able to determine whether we could service their needs.
Okay, sounds good. So in terms of your business and how you function as an entrepreneur, what are some things that you would advise others who might want to do some of the same work that you do?
Boy, that's a long list. But you got to do your homework. First off, knowledge is power. We're all kind of raised to kind of know what some of our gifts are. And I would just say you have to love and care about people, first off, to do what I do, or any industry that you're in. You have to know who you are and how you fit into that industry. So let's just say you're not an outgoing person. How can you fit in the insurance industry or any industry? Well, technology has really made a shift there. So people can not be so friendly and cordial, but use technology to their advantage, the social medias, to reach out to individuals and then create a team to work with them. But for me, I would say just know your business, first off. Make sure all your certifications are in place. In our trade, we have to do continuous education all the time. So the knowledge base is extremely important. And then the next thing is do you have the will? Is this something you really want to do? And so many entrepreneurs get out there and, I want to have my own business. I want to do this. But when they get out there and they see it's some work involved, that's a true test. Am I willing to put in the extra hours? We always say there's an empty road when you go the extra mile. Nobody's out there trying to go the extra mile. But when you go the extra mile, you'll see the success. You'll see the residuals. Always look for a good mentor, somebody that's done it, that you can talk to on their level. Look for those individuals that you respect and you respect their knowledge. And you're humble enough to sit down and listen and apply some of the things that they've done to become successful. None of us have gotten here on our own. We all stand on the shoulders of giants. So it's important that we, acknowledge that, and then not be afraid to reach out. So many people, so many successful people will tell you that people don't ask. People don't even ask them the time of day or how did they get to where they are. They see them at the top and they figured, it was easy, without even asking the questions. So ask the questions, seek those mentors, put in your work, and I guarantee that you'll see some results.
So if someone were to want to find a good mentor in your industry, what kinds of things should they be looking for?
Well, in almost every industry, you have associations, you have groups where you can find people. We have $1 Million Roundtable. in the insurance business. They're just places that you would learn to search and seek to find out those individuals. There's going to be a whole lot of name dropping in every industry. I mean, you're always going to know who's at the top. Now, you may not be able to reach that person that's at the top. I won't try to discourage you and tell you don't try, but you may not be able to reach that person at the top. But there are other great mentors out there that are very successful that are actually willing to help and train and at least go to lunch with you, especially if you're buying, and sit down and have a good conversation with you. Yeah.
So for the individuals who are just starting out, if you could really give them something essential to look forward to in this business, what would that be?
Well, the good part about our industry, and it's ever evolving. And by that, I mean, we're creating new products all the time. Another good thing is people are living longer. And that basically says that they're going to need care. We're going to need to take care of people longer. So there are various products out there that are designed just for those individuals.
Right.
Baby boomers are hitting the system. I mean, we're talking tens of thousands of people a day. So there's a market out there just in that area alone when we talk about the Medicare folks going into those different industries and the supplements and the information that they need. And then you have that wealth. I mean, believe it or not, people are balling these days. They're making money.
Yes, they are.
And they need alternatives to how they can use these vehicles out here to create some tax savings and to put some money aside to create those, what we call the estate planning, where you can actually leave a legacy and put your money to work for you. I don't know if you are a big fan of PBS, but when you hear of all the contributors out there and all the endowments and the philanthropists that are out there, they've been gone long time ago, but their money's still working for them and they're still providing services and great programming for us. You know, we can do that. And we can do that to program shows that serve our interests as well. So I employ our wealthy entrepreneurs to really consider how they could really put their money to work long after they're gone.
Oh, wow. That is some great information. And I'm hoping our entrepreneurs out there are really listening to the key nuggets that you've dropped today. And I'm going to ask you, do you have any final thoughts? When you think about entrepreneurship, the business that you're in, us making it through a pandemic, what are some things that you want to leave our listeners with today?
You know, it's very important. I think the pandemic has taught us a lot about being open-minded. You know, there's old saying, your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. And being open-minded and not closed to the possibilities that are out there. We saw businesses struggle, but then again, on the flip side, we saw some businesses thrive. We saw some people going more into the giving mode. And to me, that starts the receiving process. So, you know, a lot of people started by giving, making food, dropping off food and helping people, sharing rides and doing things that they normally would not have been doing without this pandemic. And then they got notoriety. People started cheering them on and then start donating to their causes. You know, I hear about something every day that people started doing during the pandemic. Started out with the mask making, and then it just escalated to all other certain things. I hear $1 Thursdays and all sorts of things where people are really helping each other. So be open to the possibilities. Forget all of the naysayers out there. They're only probably mad because they didn't have the idea first. So, so just stay open to all the possibilities that are there for you. And I think you'll be successful.
Thank you so much, David, for sharing all of this amazing information. We truly appreciate you for joining us today. Please let folks know how to best reach you.
Well, I'm a very open person, so you can always call me at 954-257-1783. And my email is rightnowresources@gmail.com. But I'm on social media. I'm really not that hard to find. People find me even when they're not looking for me. So But again, those are the two main resources. And again, I got an IG, Wright Advisor, but you Google David Wright, and if it's not the baseball player, it's probably me.
Thank you so much, David. It was a pleasure speaking with you today. We look forward to you joining us again to share some amazing information for our entrepreneurs as well as our aspiring entrepreneurs. So we appreciate you having a time to spend with us today and look forward to chatting with you again.
Thank you so much, Sandy. You're a great host, and I look forward to coming back and being with you guys again. Thank you again.
Absolutely.